Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boldly Going. It is I, Merlin, sometimes known as Joe, and I got the film fanatics here with me. I've got Dan over here.
Hello.
Justin over there.
Howdy.
And we're going back to the next generation. And what's the name of the episode?
When the Bough Breaks.
Or as I like to call it for the X-Files fans out there, the Deep Throat episode.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Also written by a future X-Files writer, this episode.
Is that right?
Yeah, fun fact for you.
Huh.
But... let's see. Who would do the synopsis for the children snatching, as I like to call it?
Well, it's a very Wesley-centric episode, so I'd probably nominate Dan myself.
There's a lot of kids involved. There are kids. True. And Wesley does, leave the ship for a little while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so in this episode, the Enterprise is searching for a lost world, and it uncloaks itself, so when they find it, they beam Riker, Troy, and Crusher to this planet where the inhabitants are unable to bear children.
It's a problem.
So they try and get some children from the Enterprise by beaming them down, really without permission, in trade for this mysterious technology they have.
Got to do it.
And they tell the Enterprise basically if they don't comply, they will be shot in a possibly far distance. And when they return, the children will be as old as their grandparents. So they have to try and figure out how to get out of this dilemma. This episode is not great. And I would like to bring back my segment of the show, How Trek is Trek.
Tell me.
Do go on.
Because this episode has pretty much every trope you can have on a Trek. Mysterious planet.
Yep.
Different. Well, they're not really a different race because they're people, but different kind of people.
Yes.
Sure.
Technology gone wrong.
Has to.
Naturally.
Fighting ensues to keep people from dying whilst on said planet. So I give this one an 8 out of 10 on the How Trek is Trek scale.
At least it's being tracked.
But is it a good episode?
I'm more interested in that.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Wesley does sort of save the day in a sense by starting a coup and having the children not eat. So, how can you keep the kids here if they refuse to eat? I mean, come on.
There had to be better ways.
You know how to get the kids to eat when they're not going to eat, and you're trying to enslave them. You could, smack them around. I mean, there's many things you could do if you're going to be enough of a jerk-type people to snatch children.
Yeah. But Deep Throat's a good guy.
Well, Deep Throat is not a good guy in this episode.
No, he's not.
Not especially.
But Picard does his Picard thing and makes him see big speech, on the hill and the proverbial hill.
Not a fan of the speech. Come on, everyone likes the Picard
Everyone
speech.
likes the speech. I just think this is a very generic episode.
Pretty generic.
I didn't care for it too much. It's a C-.
Ooh. Justin, tell me.
TNG has kind of been on a little bit of an upswing with the latter half of season 1.
Okay.
We had a couple good episodes, and then this episode happens. And I don't know if it's the fact that they benched Wesley for a while and then decided he's important again, or if just they had to sneak this episode in somewhere. The general idea of this episode isn't bad per se. It didn't start off where I thought it was going to go, which was going to be an incredibly Riker and Troy centric episode.
Mm-hmm.
They give a hinting like, oh yeah, we've heard about this place in legend and blah blah blah. And there's a little bit of a nice callback to that at the end, but it's not even remotely what I thought it was going to be in that regard. Kind of a plus and a minus at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it points for Wesley does save the day, but in an actual, believable fashion instead of by virtue of plot contrivance.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger Strike may not have been the most reasonable, but for being a 12-year-old kid, or 13, whichever.
It's 14 or something.
Yeah. Teenager, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It at least makes sense for his age, for a change. And that I can get behind. But just as a whole, the episode is really generic. The environmental overtones are beyond heavy-handed.
What are you talking about?
And ozone,
True.
21st century crisis.
How Trek is Trek again.
Gotta have that message.
Environmental message.
Environmental overtones. But It's just an incredibly middling episode. I'm with Dan on this one, C-.
Oh. Well, this episode's lame.
Yeah,
Considerably.
I think you're right, it's generic, but I just think it's kind of lame. I think that there are some interesting ideas in the premise, but the premise overall, it's all right. I think that it's another example of obviously trying to pull off kind of more of a TOS episode, but next-gen style. I think that kind of shows definitely older script that was lying around they decided to use.
Yeah, it could be.
But then again, this is one of the big differences where they actually had children on the ship, more of a family dynamic, but I'll be honest, in my experience with Trek, I think a lot of episodes that involve children tend to not do very well. I don't know why that is, but it just seems to often be a problem.
For one thing, since they don't normally have children on the show, we don't know any of these children or their parents.
I was going to say.
So it's like, dramatic that way.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess
no.
You care because
They're
you're
kids.
human and they're kids, so you're like, oh, I don't want the kids to, to anything to happen to them. But, like, at the same time, you're like, I mean, if they do, literally the show will be the exact same next week. Even if all of these children die.
Introduce the parent characters we've never seen before.
Right.
Do not turn the children into red shirts.
I mean, I guess the link there is supposed to be Beverly with Wesley, but if you'll notice in her performance, she doesn't seem too concerned that Wesley...
Well, she's over it.
A whole line of horrible things that could have possibly happened to Wesley. This doesn't make the top 10.
It's not the worst, that's true. But no, I don't know. I just think the whole premise of this one is just lame. Didn't find it particularly interesting. I like the fact Deep Throat was in it.
Yeah, that was good.
That was in, and it's
and his wife is in many things. Desperate Housewives. She was in a classic Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
We've seen her pop up.
Yeah, so there want some early actors there. I mean, it was fine, I guess, but very much beat by beat. I don't really like this one. It's like a D plus. I don't.
Ooh.
I just don't. Like
one of the lower next gens
for you. I just don't like this one at all.
Yeah,
I really don't. It's just not much for me.
I mean, when I think of the kids episodes that I've enjoyed, you've got
what was that TOS one?
The TOS one with where they call the adults grups.
Yeah,
and I think I like that the most of the three of us. I thought that was pretty good.
It was okay.
And then the one where Nog and Jake, not the terrible one, but the one where they like.
You actually learned something about Nog.
Well, where he kind of tutors him, and that was really good.
I think,
but they're regular characters.
The Trek.
Or recurring at least.
Well, recurring, and that's true. And I do think that they do children well, but they do adolescents well. I find maybe that's because they can act better. I don't know, but they seem to
have
handle
the coming of age thing too.
Mm-hmm.
They pull that off a lot of times. DS9 and in Next Gen, and even a little bit in TOS, they do that sometimes. But
Charlie acts. I mean, notwithstanding,
but that is an example. Got to teach him how to treat the ladies, I guess.
God almighty.
That was rough. But, I think when it's small children, maybe it's just there's not as much focus because they're not used to dealing with them and that personal connection. But, hey, you get more of, Mrs. O'Brien, with her classroom, so you'll get more of that as well.
A+ from Justin.
Hey,
hypothetically.
Hey, look.
It starts out.
If it makes you feel any better, that she does come back more. They do recycle it, but it's not like a mainstay of the show at the same time. You got to realize that it's a...
Well, I mean, if you're going to introduce that as a plot point, I mean, they've done nothing with it.
Again.
It has come back once.
Dude, you're really getting hung up on the school thing. Like, I know you like
really,
it, but they're all about meeting weird races and fighting bad guys. They don't come back to
It's really not
school.
called Deep Space O'Brien's class.
And if you want some fan fiction,
you would love it, I know.
Which is interesting.
It just isn't the point of the show.
Yes, look.
But anyway.
Not every episode. But anyway, this episode wasn't my favorite. For Next Gen, not entirely. It's Trek related.
It is Trek related.
Next episode will be DS9. So
yeah, true.
Probably not in the classroom, Justin. But
the return of Keiko. Okay.
For it.
She really and Keiko isn't going to do the thing where she eventually leaves to go on the body thing for 9 months. How are you going to deal with that? Like season 4.
I mean, they did.
Oh wow.
Did they explain that she disappeared? I mean, she went to Earth for some reason, but has never come back or been explained.
Oh, she leaves all the time, and Brian has to deal with it. It's just it's fine. Yeah. But anyway, that was this one. Not very good. This time, we're going to go back to DS9. Things are usually better over there.
Typically.
But hey, look, the season 1 and Next Gen's wrapping up, so mediocre things are on the way in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love it.
I don't. I like Next Gen from season 3.
3,
on.
yeah.
Three on. The beard
Beard
on.
on.
Beard
Yeah.
on. Beard off. Beard off.
Beard on, beard on.
But yeah, guys, I'm going to sign off. You guys say goodbye.
All right, see ya.
Till the next time.
Take us out.